Hey, Mega Moms, Jessica Hensley here with Real Estate Mega Moms, where we help moms create a life and a business that they love. And today I am broadcasting or podcasting from my camper. So thus the beautiful, lovely background that I have if you're watching us on YouTube. But I'm also joined by one of my friends, Lauren Taylor. And she has a beautiful background in her office. So Lauren is going to be one of the speakers, and actually she's going to do the VIP day with us at our Abundance Conference. So I wanted to get her on the podcast and just talk through kind of a little preview of what the moms are going to get and just catch up with Lauren. So stay tuned. We like to have our little intro in there. And so, yeah, Lauren, so it's been a while since you've been on. I would say over a year, maybe.
I know, but I'm like an OG Mega Mom, like fangirl. Like, I'm so excited to, I know last year, I think I had a lot of things going on with my family. It just didn't work for me to come to the conference, but this year I'm so excited to be back.
I'm so excited too. This is our 6th annual conference, and Lauren has been a speaker at all of our conferences except for last year. We were in Orlando, and I believe she was telling me you had it was the year before. You had 6 consecutive events that you went to, and just
yes, let's talk about that. Man, it was rough. I don't know about you, but I'm very passionate about obviously serving the people that I work with in my professional growth, and I have big goals, and sometimes it's hard to balance them, and I get overly ambitious and say yes to too many things, and then it really burnt me out. I think I did 6 or 7 events in a row, kind of piggybacking off one another. Didn't miss one single baseball game, didn't miss one single football game. Literally, it was like landing in Nashville and driving to the baseball field. But ultimately, after that, I was like, I need a break. I was like, I have to rebalance because it was just too much. So I took some time off last year. I think I only traveled to 1 event. It was great.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I think we should be picky about the events that we go to and, really ask ourselves, are they life-giving? I went to one last year, probably the first event I've been to that we didn't host. Recently, I've been to, I did a Tom Ferry event back in the day and a Brian Buffini event, so I've done some of those in some conferences, but the one I did last year was huge. It was probably 1,500 people. It was in LA. It was so big. I felt so small and so insignificant. I didn't matter there. My numbers weren't good enough there, even though I'm a top producing agent with, I feel, pretty impressive numbers for my market. But I did not feel good there, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so my point in it is, after attending that event, I thought, I see now why people tell me our Abundance Conference is so different than any other events they go to.
Yeah, there's just a sense of community that I don't see at other events, because at this point you do have a core group of people who know each other, but they're actively looking for other like-minded people, right? People who want to keep family at the forefront of their decision-making when they're running their business. Frankly, that's the foundation of what we do, right? We all hold in our hearts that we are moms first, and we have to live our lives, and the business is to support that. So I think that is honestly a shrinking demographic in our industry, which really makes me sad. I think that with everything that we've seen in the market, people think they have to go hustle grind, which truly can take a lot away from your family. But the mindset, reframing and refocusing I get whenever it comes to the Mega Mom Conference of look, this is the infinite game. And we're here to not only create an incredible business, but an incredible life for our families, and that balance, and not feeling bad about it, because everyone that you turn to feels the same thing, right? We all have some sort of sense of mom guilt for whatever level of business that we're at, but we also have feel like we have a professional responsibility to continue to grow. So it's just a really dynamic group of ladies.
And don't you agree that no matter the level that we're at, it's just like a constant reset. So even myself, I was on a coaching call with my students for micro teams. And what we do with the micro team is we show people, so moms, how to build a team that has like the sleekness or the profitability of a solo agent where you're keeping more of your commission, but you have the help of a mega team with having strategic hires. And I was telling them, reflecting on the summer, I've spent more time with Henry this summer than I have in several years past. I feel like last year was a total blur. I felt like I woke up at the end of the summer and was like, where did that go? We didn't really get to do anything that I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And so this year, he's 12. I have just a few more summers with him before he's working and then eventually out of the house. And so just keep, time is ticking and I want to make sure I'm spending the time. And just telling the ladies, I feel like this year I finally have reached that point where both businesses are running without me having to be there constantly pushing, making sure the next thing's going to happen, and I get to show up. I get to show up on my podcast with Mega Moms and coaching with Mega Moms, and then with my real estate business, I get to show up on the listing appointments, the buyer consultations, and negotiating. And pretty much my team handles like 90% of the rest of it.
How long have you been doing this now, Jess?
21 years total, but as a full-time, I would say successful, agent, really 10. I started Heritage Homes in 2015. So, and so I guess that's my point is, even though I've been running Mega Moms, even though my mission has been to help moms create a life and a business that they love, and I've always said, let's prioritize family. It was, even for me, I was still trying to do that, but in self-reflection, looking back, I can see the times that work came first, that the hustle came first, and that there's a season for that. But would you agree? Have you been in that position where you've had to reset?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that honestly brings the power of like your community and like your coaching philosophy forward, because look, it took you how long to figure out how to run a level of business at a certain level of success, a certain threshold of success that you wanted, right? And then be able to balance the two. And I just told my story. Was it two years ago or last year when I was on the road the whole time? I made that mistake, right? I think that those of us who are a little bit further along in the journey and that then have made the mistakes and worked through the mistakes and rebalanced and then put the standards in place and the systems in place and the staff in place, I definitely love going to these types of events where that's the goal, is to look, I want to get as much for my business as possible, but ultimately it's for my family. And so let's not lose focus of what's truly important. I want to get tactical. I want to get very strategic, and I want to do less better. I want to do more things because it's just not what life's about for me. So I 100% agree. I feel like whenever I do take a tremendous time away, it's almost like I lose my North Star, right? And so just kind of these being in person, getting reconnected, and also remembering like I'm a part of a bigger community of people who are struggling with the same things I'm struggling with, who are going through the same things I'm going through, even though like we can help each other, or maybe even some of them are like coaching relationships, right? There's still that relationship of like, you're not alone. You're not the only one this is hard for. And no matter what level of your business, there's always going to be problems. So some of the problems like disappear, right? But surrounding yourself with people who are actively, finding solutions and implementing solutions, I think is like the core value of mine at this point.
I almost think that it has improved through the years. I think that more and more people are realizing what's more important and prioritizing their family, their health. And you said something to me the other day that's kind of stood out. You said, you've reached the level that you have that privilege to be picky about your business and to turn things away, but not everyone's there. And I want to acknowledge that, there are the new agent that's listening, you may be thinking, I just want a deal. Like, how do I just get the first transaction or just get a couple transactions a month? And I remember dreaming about that the first 11 years of my business. Of course, I got licensed when I was 18, so give me a little bit of a break. I think I did 5 to 10 transactions in a new area, knew nothing, didn't have broker support, like all these reasons externally, but also taking personal responsibility. I didn't do the work. I didn't do the right activities. And so I've been there. I remember just dreaming about thinking, man, if I could just do 2 a month, I would be made, right? And now we're 10, 20 a month. And so, yeah. So what would you say to that person when we're like, hey, boundaries, and they're like, I just want a transaction?
Yeah, I met with that person this morning. I met with an agent this morning who has probably been licensed for like 5 years, just, family first, mom first. And she, consistently was doing like 15 to 20 deals. And like, that's what she wanted her business to be. And she was absolutely thrilled with it. But with everything that's changed in the market, she hasn't closed a deal this year. And, that's the privilege we're talking about there. There's definitely a segment of agents who are growing in this market. And when we talk about boundaries and we talk about, bigger, higher level profit margins and scalability, right? There's that level of problems. And then there's a level of problems that like, this market is really hurting me, right? Whether it's because of the area or something's going on in my life. And so really what we did is a full reset, kind of probably what we're going to do at conference, right? Is go back to your basics. What has worked for you in the past? How are we executing that? How are we holding ourselves accountable? What do we need to implement now to fill the gap and ultimately get back to where we were? But I honestly don't think she'd be able to do it without intervention. So the choice is yours, is how do you prefer intervention? A lot of people are good at self-intervention, right? They're like, I'll listen to a podcast, I'll listen to this. But if you're someone who's been sitting back, listening to podcasts, attending masterminds virtually for 6 months, and you're not getting the results you want, like, it's time to we talk about faith, right? Come to the cross, come to the conference and say, I need help. Because we're losing incredible agents who have incredible talents and possibility, but they just haven't learned how to exist in the new market yet. And, I don't want this to be an entire industry of like, I know we talk about mega, but I'm talking about like mega. I'm talking about like 20,000 transactions a year in like 27 markets, and like you don't even know a name of a house of someone that you sold in the last 12 months because you're so disconnected from the people that you work with, which has just never been the vision. That could be your vision. It's not my vision for like how this business is, best serves our community essentially. But yeah, come to the conference and come like ready to learn and ready to ask for help, because we're all there and we've all been through ups and downs in our business, and there are people who are coming who are winning, and they're going to tell you how they're winning so you can win too.
Yes, absolutely. And I will say something I appreciate about our conference, and you alluded to it earlier, was that connection and community that happens there. Even if you come alone, come not knowing anyone, I feel like people make instant connections there. We've had a lot of friendships bloom and blossom from just meeting at our conferences that lasted for years.
I would say I've taken more like deep, strong relationships away from the Mega Moms conference than any other event I've been to over the years. 100%. Like if you look at my feed, if you look at people like I actively like message with and like check in with, and we like plan things around, like the majority of them that I met like at events were Mega Moms, for sure.
Oh, wow. That's so cool. I love that. And I think the reason is, one, we try to always foster some sort of a time that everyone can connect. It's a pretty loose. This year, the way it's going to go is Thursday is the VIP day, which is what Lauren's hosting. And I believe we may be able to sneak in a couple more people, but we're almost at capacity with the VIP day. And then that's on Thursday. That is going to include a massage, like a head shoulder massage, and then hair and makeup. And we're going to have a photographer there to do some lifestyle photography and headshots. And Lauren's going to help with content strategy and just giving you some pointers and confidence so you can create really good quality video content. We'll also have some different stations set up for you that you could go record record if you wanted to. So we'll have lights there and, things that we're making it easy. And then on Friday, we're going to have our conference with our speakers. And if you haven't checked out all the different speakers, just we'll link it below, but there's several podcasts that we've done already with each one. And we have a mom of 4 under 5 who closes 150 transactions a year in Cincinnati, Ohio. And she does it with a showing agent. We have and so she's on a big team. She's basically a solo agent with a showing agent. We have someone that's branded herself on TikTok and YouTube and gets consistent business, and she's not from the town that she serves. She lives in Wichita Falls,
like a startup.
Texas.
Love that.
Yeah, yes.
Starting a new market. Everyone always asks, like, I'm new to my market. How do I do it? That's how you do it. I love it.
Yes. And then we have Brad and Jamie Flanagan and their husband-wife couple. And this is going to be unique. We've never done this before. But for those that have a spouse that maybe you guys have talked about investing or even just doing real estate together, they're going to talk about having financial goals as a couple, how to invest in your marriage, in your wealth, and your business. There's some really great strategic things that they're going to bring to the table. Awesome couple. So just so much on Friday, and then Saturday we're going to do a farewell brunch, and that's going to be a further time to connect. So it's just going to be so great, Lauren. I'm really
so excited. All of those speakers sound incredible. I'm super excited about the husband and wife team. Me and my husband, like he graduated with a degree in finance, and I was in finance before I got into real estate. So we both have like a love of numbers. Like, don't even bring up spreadsheets. We will just nerd out. But like to see how other couples
right?
Yeah, right. Like, but to see how like other couples like set goals and how they like keep each other accountable, like that level of transparency look, we can have business partners, but like your spouse is your ultimate partner. And what I found, at least in coaching, like a number of people over lots of years, is that if your spouse is not on board with your goals in your business, right? And then if your goals for your families aren't in alignment with your goals for your business, then there's just this disconnect. There's this constant like pulling forward and pulling backwards and pulling of gravity, and like where it just can feel like everything is 10 times harder than it is, because frankly it is, because we don't have a clarity in what's truly important to us. So I'm super excited for that one.
Yeah, and they're even hosting some husband-wife boot camps and things like that. He's a loan officer. They have 85 rental properties, I believe, and they're in Omaha, Nebraska. So like that's the other thing I like about our speakers this year. And you're in Tennessee. I feel like everyone's like in Middle America, and nothing against the Californians, the people from New York. Okay, love you all, but it's a different market when you're selling your averages 1, 2, 3 million versus 100 to 300 as your average price point. And so anyway, very relatable, not intimidating, people that are going to meet you where you're at in your business and lift you up and show you, here's where I was, here's where I am, and this is how I got there.
I want to challenge anyone who is listening from California or Hawaii or Miami or Florida, New York, like some of these big, Chicago, Seattle, some of these big, they were posting like, oh, I just hit like 50 million this year. And yeah, I'm talking to you negatively, because like you think that you run a great business, but in reality, like selling $51 million houses, like I have been so blessed to be surrounded by like you. I always reference you. Like whenever I'm at a conference and someone comes to me and they're like, oh, like it was so hard, I did 50. I'm like, go talk to Jessica Hensley, who's selling like 200 homes a year. Like it's nothing at like a 10th of the price point that you're at. And you think that it's like so different with the process. No, you guys have just created better systems because you have to scale. And so if you're like one of those agents where you come from these mega markets and you're like, well, how do we like, I'm already selling 50 million. So they're like, I'm too good for this. No, come here. And this is what's going to like quadruple your business, and you'll still be selling $1 million houses, but you'll have better systems streamlined, because that's what these guys have to do to even get close to what you're selling in terms of like millions volume. Like this is the place that you go for like that tactical strategy, because all of that is the same market to market, right? How you market a listing is completely different. We're talking about like how you run your business. It's just so valuable.
Yes. So on Thursday, what's a little sneak peek of what you're going to be able to share with us for that content strategy day?
Oh man. So look, social media is like the best opportunity that no one's fully taking advantage of. And I've been able to grow like 230,000 followers over the last 2 years, 3 years maybe, but even I'm not fully utilizing it. So what I want everyone to walk away with on Thursday is a very clear formula for success, right? What is like the 3-step formula for success for them that is sustainable, and is a way that they feel comfortable executing. Most agents don't execute on video because there is some sort of limitation in their mind that they're not comfortable with. But then because they feel like they have to be everyone else, they fit into this box, right? And so finding their personal success formula, kind of giving everyone ideas of what falls into each of those boxes that will truly get people, not only, increasing them, people know they exist, but actually getting them in the DMs and being like, I want to buy a house with you. Because creating videos is wonderful, getting views is wonderful, getting followers is wonderful, it gives you a lot of street cred, but ultimately if it doesn't translate into transactions, then it's not feeding your family. So we're going to run the gamut, and everyone's going to walk away with their personal success code and their personal formula to start executing.
Yes, I love that. I am so excited. And that's the other reason we had her do the VIP, because that's going to take a lot of work, right? She's going to be kind of working with them.
We're going to do psychological break you down. Everyone thinks that they do content, and then they take a step, and we all take a step back, and we have like this moment where we look at ourselves. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm holding myself back. I'm not putting myself out there, right? And it is about taking ownership and confidence of the value you bring. And it's hard, it's scary, but we're gonna get over that fear on Thursday together.
Love it. Love it. So moms, if you haven't grabbed your ticket, go ahead and do that. We have, let's see, today is August 7th. Hopefully this is published on Monday, but we're having to end our sales August 15th. So depending on when you're listening to this, you have better grab your ticket, book your room, because I know Beeman is like just about booked. I didn't say the date, September 19th through the 21st. And that's the actual day of the conference is on the 20th. So if you're local and you don't need to fly in, you don't have to make arrangements. You can just show up on the 20th. That's cool. And you don't have to do brunch on Saturday. So there's options. And if you want additional options, reach out to us, or we'll just have the link below to grab your ticket. That's the main thing. Just don't wait. Oh, I know what I was going to say. If it's past that time frame and you're like, this sounds really good, I want to listen, but I can't be there, we do have a virtual option. So you don't have to miss out. You can grab the virtual ticket. So we'll have the virtual link as well. Okay, well, we will see everyone in the next episode. Have a blessed day. Thank you so much, Lauren.
Thank you. Bye.